Hi, good evening to one and all. This is Mareesha Parikh, the CEO at the Wedding School, welcoming you to my Insta Live on this rather warm, slightly humid day, Thursday. I think we have all finally got used to the summers. I think last 2 weeks, most of us have spent in cribbing about the weather, and here we are. With not much of choice but to accept the reality, such as so many more things in life, right? We tend to just crib a bit and then let it go and then just take it as it comes, and so goes with the weather. The only option you have is travel to a cooler destination, take a break from work, and I'm going to talk about all lovely things which most of us are unable to achieve, although we may desire it, right? Hi Kathy, hope you're doing well, and waving back to everyone who is here joining me on my Insta Live as I take this wonderful time. Oh, we've got Sahil also here. Hi Sahil, long time no see. You have become pretty busy a person. You have always been very lazy and you have hardly stayed in touch, but somehow whenever you end up meeting me and whenever we have connected, it's always been a pleasure, and I hope you're really striving hard and working towards your real passion. And I'm not referring to your love for shoes, I'm referring to your love for music and your passion to make it big in this space as a DJ. So Sahil has had an interesting career, starting off with freelancing on weddings. I still remember the first time we had engaged his services was for a wedding we were doing in Mumbai, and I think it was Sachi who was in charge of team then, and she told me there's this new boy and he looks pretty enthusiastic. I said, he's enthusiastic? Let's give him the job of managing the chai wala, because you need a lot of energy, positive attitude, and a lot of zeal to be able to deal with somebody who thinks that the entire wedding is dependent on him, and that's the chai wala. And everyone from the wedding space will totally relate to this. सारी शादी के discussions एक तरफ और चाय वाले का अलग से चलता है. And I remember how effective he was. He was a quick learner. And I think that's a real important trait for any of you who want to get into the space of weddings and events at large as well. You know, you have to be a quick learner, especially if you aspire to stay focused on and work in the space of freelancing. Gone are the days when if you didn't get a job, you'd become a freelancer. You know, today's a time when most of the youngsters opt for it, for the reason of it being convenient, for the reason that it allows them to take up different, aspirations that one may have. For me, Sahil becomes a great example of that, and I know so many more youngsters who are getting into this space where they want to be in weddings, but they don't want to be full-time because they're also pursuing something else with equal amount of commitment. And I think the fact that a lot of companies are not able to hire and retain good talent at a good price, I think this becomes a very convenient way of taking your dreams and aspirations forward. But let me tell you, gone are the days when freelancers were forgiven for being average at their work. Today, there's a certain amount of expectation. Today, you're expected to know what to do. I remember when we started Swaha, the time was weird. You actually would end up taking freshers as freelancers. You actually would take them knowing that you have to train them. They are purely coming for the excitement and for the little extra bucks that they can make. They're coming for the excitement that they can travel, that they can make new friends, etc., etc. Today, even if you are coming into this space with zero experience, there is an expectation that you will have a certain sense of understanding, if not experience on your side. And it's not an easy run anymore as a freelancer. Although it looks like बहुत सारी कंपनियां खुल रही है, it is great. But if you want to command a respectable price and play an important role, then you got to get your game right. In fact, this year at the wedding school, we are giving an equal importance to all three aspects. Students who want to work in companies, students who have already made up their mind that they want to become entrepreneurs, and of course the third segment is students who are wanting to consciously get into the space of weddings because they want to freelance, they want to just work on projects, and they have crystal clarity in that. We have done a lot of changes in the teaching methods and the approach and the kind of faculty also that we are going to bring in, keeping this growing trend in mind, because as an institute we've always believed that you cannot be a specialized course if you are not going to be able to mold to changing times. And I feel today the fastest and the only constant used to be change. Now the fastest is change, right? Every day there is some new technology, every day there's a new discovery, every day there is an easier way of doing something that you had done yesterday. So if everything is changing at that remarkable pace, how can we not mold ourselves in the space of education? We have to be relevant. In fact, we have to be 2 steps ahead. I will take definitely a lot of credit on behalf of the entire team at the wedding school for this one aspect where I remember before the lockdown, and I remember this as the second year, when we started focusing on a lot of allied job opportunities, where we started grooming our students. This was our third batch only, and we started grooming them, mentally preparing them that look, you will end up working not just with a wedding planner, but you will end up working with different companies who are not directly associated with planning but are directly associated with something that's connected to wedding space. And you have to keep your mind open. You have to be ready to pick up those kind of job opportunities as well. So while you may enroll in the course thinking that planning is the only way out, but that's not the case. And I remember we spoke about this and we taught our students and we called in faculty to train them accordingly back in 2019, our third batch. And now that we knew about COVID, but actually the reality is that suddenly took shape in the real space of weddings, and it is relevant even today. And I feel really proud of the fact that we were able to understand where the industry is headed and thus prepare the students well in advance, mentally more than anything else. You have to mentally mold someone to be ready for unique opportunities. Sometimes as youngsters, you're not expected to understand where this could lead you. But as people who spend enough time in this space of weddings, I think it naturally comes to us for us to be able to understand where the industry is headed, what could be trending. And I'm not just referring to pastel shades, I'm referring to career options and job opportunities, which is a very big reality, that there is competition and then there is you, and then there is the growing population of India. Don't we actually experience that? Sales writing, can't wait to meet you, ma'am. What a liar you are. I'm doing fine. Thanks for checking on me. If you want to meet me, I am actually pretty close to where you stay. My office is right there, Sahil, and I hope to catch up with you whenever, either in office or maybe at one of the places whenever you're playing around. Shivam is also here. Good to see you, Shivam, and I hope you're doing really well with all the sessions and the lectures that you're taking. I think today my topic was wedding entrepreneurs, but what a beautiful coincidence that I have Sahil joining, who is a great example for me of how a freelancer in the space of weddings can actually have a great career and constant way to make money. And how freelancing could actually land him, and did land him, his wedding project as a DJ. So your relations really matter, and relations are what they are only because of the way you conduct yourself and the sincerity. A very, very important aspect as far as trying to branch into newer horizons is concerned. Shivam also is somebody who got into the space of wedding freelancing first. And I remember, I think you were a student of one of the event institutes when you had actually interned with us, and you worked with us on one of our wedding projects. And today Shivam is working with a company but also doing his own special projects. And he's also taken a lecture, I think, in his institute. Somaya's, if I'm not mistaken, Shivam. You had sent me the link, and I do remember checking it out. Sorry if I got the name wrong. I've got somebody from Jody Clickers over here. Hello there. Hope you are doing fine, whoever has logged in. I've got Archers here with us. That's Hari. I love your outdoor space in your house. I know. Going to invite you soon. I know the outdoor space is great, but it's just bothering my hair, Hari, and I'm just a little upset with that. Hemant, if Hemant was around, he's going to say, wait, I'll tell the wind to change its direction. So, but yes, Hari, I do feel I'm very blessed that I have amazing backdrops all in my house. And I have to give credit to Mr. Cardi for being able to take this step forward. I've got Pavan here. Hi, good evening. Hope you're doing well. Hari, you asking for hookah? Well, you will have to bring it. If you're going to come here, you've got to bring that along. And I can just give you company, my friend. I've got Vishal here, one of our ex-students. Hi, Vishal. Hope you're doing good. My topic for today is about wedding entrepreneurs. And Vishal is a great example of how a wedding freelancer decides to opt to invest in himself and turns towards education, enrolls with TWS, and thereon learns with us, and today is doing really very well for himself as an entrepreneur. For those of you who have a dream and have always wanted to run your own business, let me tell you, when I'm giving these examples, people like Vishal, in fact, a very dear colleague of mine, Kushal, as well. These are those who got into the space of starting their own business, but it's important to understand that they have invested a lot of time in understanding the business angle and the service angle. These are those who've spent at least 5 to 6 years in the space of weddings, even if it was as a freelancer or it was as a manpower provider like Vishal was, or somebody like a Kush with our company and then got into the space of starting his own. You got to be patient, and you know, don't go by the age of a person. Try to understand when that person started working. It's really important, because when you hear a story of a 23-year-old who's an entrepreneur and you think, wow, this is cool, let me get into it, I can tell you, you know, at the cost of losing 2 admissions, just educating yourself and directly jumping into your own business is never a good idea, because it's never enough and it's not fair, right? You do not have the right to play with a client's money and learn at his expense. That's just not ethically right. So a lot of the freelancers especially start working in this space at a very young age of 17, 18. So by the time they're 23, 24, they have at least done about 100 plus events. They have traveled to at least 20 to 30 new destinations while doing these 100 plus weddings. They have dabbled into different roles, and they probably come from a secure financial background. Let's not forget, these are also important realities that one needs to know of, especially when you are becoming an entrepreneur in a relatively competitive market such as Ahmedabad or Hyderabad or Bombay or Delhi. Your financial support and background definitely becomes a huge advantage, and not all of us are blessed with that, right? Most of us are on a path of self-discovery and self-made. So thus it's important to play this game easy, and I have absolutely no issues. Like a lot of my counterparts in this industry are very averse to the fact that there are so many entrepreneurs who got into the space of weddings. And I tell you what, I welcome all of you. And I'm ready to support each of you in whatever best capacity I can as the wedding school, because every person has a right to pursue a dream. I only discourage people when I feel it's a bit hasty, it's a bit too soon, it's a bit of you still have a lot to learn. So you must be able to identify yourself as a person and personality, and also understand your drawbacks. I know of so many entrepreneurs, just like in the space of IT, where they get the first kickstart, they get into a startup, they start their own, and in a year or two they realize they're not really cut out to run this as a business. While they may understand the product aspect to it, selling the same product is not easy. And for you to be a successful entrepreneur, the art of selling is something that one needs to be really good at. And not all of us are genuinely cut out for it. Some of us are excellent at what we do, which is in terms of, say, servicing a client. Some of us are very good at impressing a client and getting to become Mr. Popular or Miss Popular at the end of a wedding project. But that does not necessarily equate to you being able to run your own business, because don't forget that there is a lot of money to be managed, there are people to be managed, there are temperaments to be handled, there are negotiations to be done, and then there are right contacts required to get the right kind of response, right? Hotels don't respond to anyone and everyone. So for that reason, it's always nice to invest a little more time to understand the game, right? It's always important to understand, are you that type of a person? Do you really want to go through that pressure? Because running your own organization is never easy. And it is about being able to multitask to an extent where it is frightening and stressful. So while I feel life has great opportunities for us as freelancers, and I would encourage people who have aspirations of running their own organization to try to do a project or two by themselves before they announce to the world. One word that I see everyone in love with, I want to announce. I want the people to know. It's so many of us have started taking decisions based on what we want to showcase on Insta. Let me tell you guys that again is a big no-no, especially as an entrepreneur. Keep it low profile, take it easy, try to get to your best, and then make a big deal out of it. Don't be in a rush, because that haste can backfire. Here is a time when you can try out a project or two by yourself. Understand if you're really cut out to run your own business. If not, you always can go back to a job, or you can always go back to working on projects with people. And that ways, life is a little easier, because there is less of justification for you to give. You tried and you realize you're not cut out for it. So always keep your options open, and don't be in a haste, and don't do something just because somebody else succeeded at it. If that was the case, I would have definitely tried singing long time back, because I love my voice. And I would have believed it if people told me, which they did, that I should try it. But I never took that seriously. Sometimes it's important for you to know what to do and how far to go. What do you feel is the biggest quality that one requires in order to succeed as a wedding entrepreneur? For all of you who are on this live with me, I want to get some news, views, and some thoughts of what do you feel is a make or break for an entrepreneur, especially in the space of weddings. There is somebody, I'm just going to take a few questions that I see. I'm waving back to as many people as I can. Love you so much, all of you. I've got Instamvesh. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right. How do I get into freelancing? Well, like I explained right in the beginning of my live, that you can actually get into the space of freelancing in multiple ways. For me, the most effective way is by educating yourself, because most of the freelancers are those who have enrolled first with a course, either with TWS for wedding planning and design decor, or with an event management institute where they learn all aspects of events, whether it's corporates or sports or weddings. It's important for you to educate yourself so that you get yourself a little more prepared. You evolve as a person and personality. Your confidence definitely changes because you know a little more than what one should know as a base start. And of course, for me, it's a great place to connect. Education means you meet more people from the industry. You get the assistance of the institute, who then connects you further with different companies. So for me, that's the best and the most effective way in order to become a freelancer who makes a difference. If you just want to do it for the fun of it, you can just write in to people. But again, I keep getting a lot of people who write into me. I probably will, wait for somebody to give me a reference check on that person, or somebody refers me to, someone. That's the only time I would have picked up a freelancer ad hoc. So it's a very tricky space today. There was a time it was very easy to get into freelancing space. Today, it's not that simple and easy and direct. So maybe you could try education, which is for me the most effective way. Okay, guys, any inputs on what can make you a successful wedding entrepreneur? What is that one trait that you feel makes a lot of difference? Pranav is also here. Hi, Pranav. Hi, Sunny is also here. Oh God, there's so many of you. I am trying my best to wave back to everyone. Heman Kale is also here. Hello, Mr. Kale. And I can see that you have vanished from the house. You love my voice? I am glad you're saying that, and I'm hoping that it's Heman Kale from Swaha who's saying it, and not Heman Kale, the owner of this apartment where I'm sitting. Makes it look like I've just borrowed your house. But thank you for that. I'm going to drop you a voice note on that note, since you love my voice so much. What was the salary of a wedding planner? Ek to please ye samjho, Rehan. Wedding planner makes money from fees and profits, and does not necessarily have the wonderful luck of being able to give themselves a salary, although that's the ideal way of running your business, when you are able to give yourself a salary at the end of a month. But most entrepreneurs miss out on that for the longest time of running their company. So yeah, I think the money you make is definitely worth the effort. I'm not too sure how much of an effort today people put in. It is rewarding, let's put it that way. How much? It all depends on the scale of your project, your ability to be able to make money. And it varies, and it's too difficult to put as a number that I could have discussed over here. But surely most of the planners miss out on giving themselves a salary. So yeah. So your school collaborates with photographers? Well, we don't really collaborate with photographers. We don't really need to do that. We do invite some of the best in the space of photography to come in to take a lecture for our students, as one of the subjects that we teach in that is wedding films and photography, where we actually teach the students how to deal and how to work in terms of ops and in terms of execution when it comes to working with photo video teams, which is a very big part and an important part of our job as a planner. That course and that session specifically also helps us understand bride and groom's sensibilities from a photographer's perspective, because they are the ones who end up spending a lot of I would say friendly banter and a lot of time with a couple, and I think sensitizing the next gen towards what their client requires comes out beautifully in these sessions. So yeah, we've had the good fortune of having none other than the top league who have always taken out time to teach us on this subject. Rituraj sir is here. Hi sir. I can't thank you enough for all the faith that you have in me, and I hope that I will always continue to make you proud and never disappoint you, because you vouch for me in such a big way no matter where we are, and I keep getting that from people. So thank you for all the faith that you have in me. Yeah. Love you too, sir. Love you. Waving back to everyone, and I think for me, one important trait of an entrepreneur, which I feel is important today, especially in the space of weddings, is simply patience. Those who are starting off today, please understand you don't have the advantage that we had when we started in this space 15 years. Some of us started 10 years back. I think those who've got into this space only in the last 2 to 3 years, you need to have a lot of patience. Second important quality is you need to have a differentiating factor. Today, you are not going to succeed if you are only a service provider and if you're only as good as the dozen other planners who are available. There has to be a differentiating factor that is going to help you in the long run. You might get your immediate business because the client didn't have a choice, but remember, it's always wiser to strive to be the first choice of a client, and I feel that's the way to succeed as an entrepreneur. And the third, you should be able to spot quality vendors. For me as a planner, I feel my work is as good as what everyone else around me delivers. And for that, as an entrepreneur, you should be ready not to compromise on quality vendors, partners, and you should thus have that much knowledge that you're able to talk to the best of the best and get them on board for your projects at your price. And that doesn't happen overnight, my friends. That requires a lot of nurturing of relation and less of over smartness, which is a big problem with today's generation. So this would be my 3 bits that would definitely help you make a successful entrepreneurial venture and survive and sustain in this extremely competitive space. So yeah, I think I'm going to wind up now because there is some important commitment that I have, and I think I've chatted a lot for today. For those of you who love my voice like Hemant Kale, do log in on this Saturday for a counseling session where we are going to be hand-holding the youngsters in terms of trying our best to counsel them, train them, and make them understand what are the pros and cons of joining the wedding industry, how can they make a full-fledged career, how does education play its part. And for those of you who already know about this counseling session, you can join me on my Insta Live next Thursday, where I'm going to be at a wonderful location. That's going to be a little holiday break that I'm going to be on, but I'm going to still be on live. And I'm going to look forward to chatting with all of you. Lots of love, and thank you so much for joining me here, and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.